I know what you're thinking. Tom, stop doing these things by yourself. And I know what you mean.
Don't try this at home. This is going on Rusty Judgment.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to Rusty Judgment. If we haven't met before, my name is Tom. We are currently out here at the moved-in house, which is the cracked house, which is a house that, it's been a while since we had it moved in here. New basement put underneath it. We are currently getting ready to do a garage, and they just poured it yesterday. Stripped the forms off it. It looks like it's still pretty fresh. So they said I can start backfilling. We got footings for a big old garage, which is awesome. I don't actually know what these are. I'm sure somebody else does, but some kind of straps of some sort just on the front. I wonder, interesting. So we got footings here. I can start backfilling, so I can fill all this in, but I got to fill in the front and the back at the same time. So I think I only own a skid loader. I think I'm gonna have to get my father-in-law's backhoe so that I can start reaching across and grabbing from the inside and pulling out and filling all this middle, because I can't get a skid loader into here with all that like that. But this looks great. This is super expensive. I know that some people were probably wondering. This is I don't understand why it's so expensive. And the reason that we ended up doing a 4-foot frost footings the way we did here, instead of just doing I think it's called like a floating slab or a monolithic slab, where the footings and the slab are all poured at once and they're not that deep. The reason why we didn't do that was I want the opportunity to attach this to the house at some point in time. So right now it's just gonna be a detached garage, but Dawn and I were thinking, it would be really silly if we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, built a garage next to it, and then we're never ever, didn't have the possibility of attaching it to the house and making it a full connected at some point in time in the future, if for some reason we want to do that. So we decided to do this. It's more expensive, but I'm hoping in the long run it will be better. And then also, because this was all filtered, I wasn't here, let me get out of the wind. Because it was all filtered that this is built on, I wasn't super confident that building a floating slab on top of it would be a wise decision. So that was another consideration. That fear of all of it breaking drove, even though I packed it correctly, I still just worried about it. So this is what we got. This is a good sized garage. This will be a very good sized garage. So next steps are backfilling, and then once it's all backfilled, we can start to frame a garage. I know what you're thinking. Tom, stop doing these things by yourself. And I know what you mean. I actually intended on having a couple guys here to help me build this garage, but it ended up being where it's literally raining every other day here. I worked on this all day yesterday, and then it poured rain last night, so I had to plastic up all this so that it won't get wet. And then it's going to pour rain all day tomorrow, and then it'll be nice one day, and then it'll pour rain the next day. And so the guys that I had who were going to come help me build the garage, they only could come in big chunks of days at a time. So it doesn't make sense to have them come for a couple chunks of days and then have it rain half of those days. So I am building the garage by myself so far. I realize I will need help for the trusses, which I don't want to do by myself. So I think I'm going to have my neighbor. He has a lull, which is a big thing that can pick up and extend out. Have him come and help set the trusses, and then I'll be the monkey running around on the ladder, nailing them in place. So I think that'll work really good. But right now, I did all this yesterday, all by myself. Aren't you impressed? I framed them and stood them all up. These gaps here are going to be where windows are at. I wanted to get walls stood up, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to frame the windows in later today. And so I will finish framing this section today, and then the front, do the garage doors and everything, get all that framing done. Once that's done, then I will be framing in windows over here and over here. The plans that I drew up called for 2 windows on this side and 2 windows on this side, along with a service door. But I think I'm gonna change that because this last window I haven't, that would go like right here, is gonna point right at the end of the house. And I don't know that I want a window in the garage looking straight at the house. I don't know if I'm overthinking it or what, but I'm wondering if I eliminate that window and maybe I put like 2 windows back here. I don't know. Technically, I can't do any of this because it's not part of the original plans, and the original plans are what was approved by my township and the permitting people. So if I make changes, they're going to have an issue with it. But I think I own the property, and if I want to make changes, I'm going to make changes. So maybe I will just see how that goes, and I'll let you know. But right now I have no windows on the back wall. May change my mind on that. But what the plan is today is to finish the framing for the walls. It's going to rain. I would like to start sheeting the walls after that, but we're supposed to get like 1.5 inches of rain all day tomorrow. So I probably won't sheet anything. I'll probably just get all the framing done and then let it rain. And then the next couple days after that, I'll come back out and I'll sheet the walls. I'll wrap the whole outside of the house, the whole outside of the garage, and then get my neighbor out here so we can start setting trusses. Because once this thing has got a roof on, I'm going to be really happy. A roof on and then it covered so it can get rained on. That would be awesome. I don't really like non-treated lumber getting wet for too long. But this garage is fantastic. It's really big. So it's 30 foot wide by 34 feet deep with 9-foot sidewalls. And then I'm doing a 612 pitch roof with 2-foot overhangs all the way around. And we're doing 2-foot overhangs all the way around because the house has 2-foot overhangs all the way around it. So we wanted the overhang distances to match. And then we lined the front of the garage up with this wall right here. So if down the road, if we connected them, we would have just a straight wall running across the whole front of the house. That's kind of why we set the garage back. And then also we get to keep the side window in that front living room by putting the garage back. I think it's going to look really good when it's all done. So I'm filming inside the truck because it is insanely windy out, which is going to make working outside really unpleasant today. So you're welcome that you get to watch this at the pleasure of your own home or wherever you're at. I will bring you back later today. I'm just going to try and get as much framing done as I can. We'll see where the day ends. Well, I got all of the framing done that I wanted. The only thing left to do for framing before I can start sheeting the walls is the top plate that kind of runs the perimeter of the whole ceiling and it ties it all together. Otherwise, all the framing is all complete for the walls. It's been a really long day. I'm really tired and sunburnt, and I'm ready to go home, but I'll spin around and show you it all. Welcome back. It's been a few days later. I have most of the wall sheeting on, and I'm barricading you in my truck right now because it's windy out. It's almost always windy out here. I don't know what to even say about it. It's just, it's because we're surrounded by just farm fields, so it's always wind. But my goal today is to set all the trusses, which is probably a poor decision, which I know I've said lately, I've been making better decisions. I actually think I make good decisions now. I have guys coming to help later in the week, but I keep thinking to myself, if I get all this roof up, then when they get here, we can be roofing it and siding it and doing other things, or we can be working on the house. So I'm gonna try and get as far as I can on my own. It's supposed to get windy this afternoon, so that'll make it kind of a challenge. I'm gonna get to it, but this is where we're at right now. I got a generator running, charging my batteries, and it's a beautiful sunny day out here. I ran home, and my neighbor, I grabbed his lull from across the road, drove it out here, and now I got the first truss in there, the end truss. I've got 3 more up there that I'm gonna start positioning. And then once those 3 are all in and secure, Then we'll bring all the trusses in from the other side, from this side, and we'll extend them up and over and set them in this way. But once I get these first few stabilized and everything, then it'll all start going pretty smoothly, I believe. But for now, it's be a little tedious getting the first few up and getting the first few kind of braced and stabilized. And then from, oh, that's a really low plane. That's a super low plane. Yeah, so it's going all right. It's a little tedious, but I'm gonna get moving. Well, I did not get anywhere near as far as I wanted to get today. I have a total of 5 trusses up. They're all spaced correctly, nailed in, supported, and then squared up. So there's like an angled board in there, so it won't, like, there should be no concern of it like blowing over or anything like that. So the 5 trusses are all secured and everything. I did have a slight detour today. I ended up in the emergency room. I shot a framing nail straight through. I was shooting like one of the very bottom ends onto the top plates. So I was shooting through the metal plating on the truss. And I think it must have ricocheted off the plate on the other side because it kind of like went down and in. So I'm guessing it ricocheted. And so I shot a 3-inch nail, so 1.5 inches, maybe a little more than 1.5 inches, through the end of my finger. It shot like straight into the end, and then it came out behind the nail. That hurt quite a bit. So I was able to just pull my hand out right away. It bled like crazy. I ripped my shirt off and wrapped my hand up in my shirt. I called Dawn 4 times, and she came, drove me to the hospital, where we sat there for 3 hours or more. Basically, I'm on an antibiotic now and a pain medication in case. Right now my finger is still numb, so I currently don't feel anything. It crushed, like it shattered the bone in the end of my finger. But they said it's at the end where they can't like pin it or do anything. Like basically they said like it kind of nicked the end of the bone on my finger and it just shattered it. But they said it should heal on its own and be fine. As far as nerves, they can't actually do anything if I did any damage to nerves, but I could feel the edge of my fingers when I got there. When they checked all that out, I could feel the tip of my finger still. So hopefully it all just heals fine and we can keep working. I have 2 guys coming out here in a couple days, and so I think I've got the trusses to a place where they'll be fine. They're not gonna, I would like it to be done, you know me, but I'm gonna leave it for now, and so I'm gonna wait till those guys come, and then we'll do it together, where I'm assuming I'm not gonna do as much if my finger's throbbing or in pain, or I don't know. So so this is what it looks like for now. It's actually not too bad. It's just a small little bandage over it, but yeah. So I told Dawn today, after on our way to the hospital, I said, okay, no more, because I had to climb down from that. I was up here, so I had to climb down. I had to put the lull down. I had to pack all the tools up quick, all with my hand wrapped in my shirt over my head. I told her, I said, I will not do any more work out here on my own up in the air. Like if I'm doing like something low to the ground, I'll work by myself, but I won't try and be Mr. Hero and work all by myself up in the air. So I'll just have people out here now from now on. It's just not worth, you know what? I'm 40, I turned 41 in October, and you know, it's not, I don't know. I didn't think something like this. I've shot 1 million nails and I've never shot one into my body ever. And so, I don't know. You just think, you know, it's not worth it. Physical injuries that could impact the rest of your life, just not worth happening. So I'll be back out here in a couple days and we'll get this thing done. All right, it's a couple days later. I have 2 guys out here helping with me. One is my brother-in-law, Ben, and his co-worker and friend, Adam. And so I am running the lull, setting the trusses. We've only got a few left, and it's pretty awesome having help. Well, we have all the trusses done, all the overhangs on. This half is sheeted. We're working on sheeting the other half, but we're gonna end the video off here today. Thanks for watching. Check back in next time to see what color roof and what color siding we do. And spoiler alert, we are redoing the house as well, so they will match. So next time you see all this, it should all be one color. And I hope to see you then. Bye-bye. All right, change of plans. The video is not over. The garage looks beautiful, and I can't help myself. I want to show it to you. So here it is. Doesn't it look incredible? It looks like this house is meant to be here now. So we still got to roof it, side it, and then roof and side and replace windows on the house. But look how amazing this place looks.